Welcome back, guys. This is Yankees Unloaded. I am Jake Ellenbogen, and unfortunately, we do not have Gary Sheffield Jr. today, my fabulous co-host, but we do have a doubleheader to get through. So the show must go on, and we're going to start with game number 1 here. This is the makeup game from Friday that was rained out. It seems like every single year there is a game that gets rained out in Cleveland. The Yankees win 3-2 on the road to kick off the doubleheader starting early on. I think it was like 12:15 early start time. Different lineup today. You had Volpe, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Verdugo, Cabrera, Trevino, and Grisham. So no Stanton in the lineup there. Birdie was placed on the 10-day IL, so hopefully he'll be okay. With that said, though, the Yankees didn't have a ton of activity at the top of their lineup. Soto did strike out twice in game 1. He did have a walk. Volpe had a walk. However, we saw 2 hits from Judge, who continues to show that he might be turning a corner here. Started off slow early on in the season. Like to see that. You also had 2 hits from Rizzo. Went 2 for 3 with a walk. You had a nice hit from Torres. You had 2 from Verdugo, who just loved going opposite field today. Not even just the first game, but even in the second game. And of course, Oswaldo Cabrera, even Trevino got in on the action with 2 hits. Oswaldo Cabrera had the big home run there. So with that said, you had a double for Rizzo, you had a double for Judge, and 2 doubles for Verdugo. They hit Carrasco well in this one, I thought. They got to him early on. They forced him, a lot of pitches there early on, had 88, and he came out in the 5th inning, didn't even finish the 5th inning. He only gave up 1 earned run, but he walked 5 batters. And the Yankees, once again, continue to show their approach at the plate, being incredibly picky at the plate, being patient, waiting for their pitch. And so we saw that. Volpe had his 4th steal of the season, which is great to see. The Yankees were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Cabrera came through with the big home run, the 2-run shot that pretty much decided this one. We just didn't realize it back then. And then, of course, Trevino had a base hit, with runners in scoring position. They left 8 on base. And Grisham, man, he grounded into a double play, not once, but twice with the bases loaded. So that was really, a struggling thing to see. As far as what stood out to me today, I just thought it was really cool to see Oswaldo Cabrera, who has not played in 3 days, actually more, but he missed 3 days, was literally not a part of that Blue Jays that series at all. They benched him for 3 straight games. Then you have the off day, and then Friday gets rained out. So it's been 5 days since he's actually played. And just to see him continue to hit the cover off the ball and at least work his way, working counts, showing that he has made improvements, was really impressed with Cabrera today, especially in game 1 with the home run. Now, with that being said, I also want to give a shout out to Aaron Judge, who I thought was hitting much better today. And it definitely started in the first game. Good to see. I like the way that, they went about this lineup. I'm not the biggest fan of hitting Trevino over Wells, but at the same time, you're not going to have a catcher go both days in a back-to-back, both games, in a back-to-back, doubleheader. So with that said, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind Grisham taking center to give Judge, kind of a half day in that sense to that point. I did not mind them giving Stanton a half day. I really just want to keep guys like that healthy, so I totally understand what they were doing there. Got to give a lot of credit to Clark Schmidt. Yes, he continues to struggle to get through the 6th inning, and I know they really wanted to get him through that. I thought Aaron Boone did a really nice job letting him play it out, and unfortunately, he had 2 batters on, and it was just going to be too much. And so, he went to the bullpen, and Caleb Ferguson got a punch out. Pitched well, got him out of a jam. They only gave up 1 run. And let's be honest here, Schmidt shouldn't have even given up a run, because when Ferguson, basically created the ground ball, Torres took the ball, stepped on second, and threw it in to the, essentially the dugout. So That scored 2 runs, one of them unearned, on the portion of Schmidt. But Schmidt, I thought, pitched really well today. He had command of the strike zone, 7 strikeouts. My issue were the walks. He had 5 walks, just like Carrasco did. But he only gave up 3 hits. He gave up 2 runs, but only 1 was earned. And I think there's some good things that you're seeing from Schmidt. With that said, though, I think it's fair to say he is a 5-inning guy. His best he's going to give you is 5 innings. He really struggles getting through guys in the 3rd time in the order. He starts to get hit, and we saw that again today. Ferguson, again, nice job out of the pen. Gives him an inning, strikeout, and a walk. He continues to pitch well. Ian Hamilton comes in for the hold. He pitches 2 innings, the Ian Hamilton special, a strikeout. He did walk a batter, and he did give up a hit, but he gave him 2 good innings in a day where you're going to have a doubleheader. You're probably not going to be able to use a lot of your bullpen, so that was a good, hold there for Ian Hamilton. And then Clay Holmes gives up a double, and it looks like all is lost. And, the Yankees are in trouble late in this game, trying to protect the 3-2 lead on the road with Cleveland to bat in the 9th inning. You get the double, and then Holmes pretty much strikes out the next 2 guys. So you gave up the hit, but he had 2 strikeouts. The Yankees today, first game anyway, they looked really good. They battled back. I understand, at times in this game, it looked like, okay, when Cleveland got those 2 runs in the 6th, you're on the road, you're dominating this game. You have 10 hits. They have 5. That error, though, is that going to cost you? And I thought the Yankees did a really nice job of, stopping the bleeding before it became an issue. So shout out to them. Verdugo, again, with his 2 hits. I thought he deserved a lot of praise in this one. Rizzo, Judge. You like seeing those multi-hit games. Even Trevino, who stepped up in a big way today with the 2 hits. Now, we move on to the next game. And the next game, this is the fascinating thing. The Yankees end up winning this game 8-2. They improved to 12-3 on the year. They're 8-1 on the road. But the thing that I find so impressive about this win is they were going up against what one could say is the Cleveland Guardians. I would say it, their ace right now. I thought McKenzie was going to be dominant. I thought it was going to be a tough game to win. You announced that Cody Poteet is starting. You skip Luis Heel. I have mixed feelings about it, but I get it because, you do have the Tommy John he's coming off of, and you're trying to be cautious of how much you use him. But Poteet was everything you could have asked for as a spot starter, okay? He was the 27th man today. When you have a doubleheader, you're able to use an extra guy, in that lineup, essentially, on that roster. And so they called him up to start, and he had 4 strikeouts. He's not really much of a strikeout pitcher. The whole point of him is that he can get through order. And the thing I thought that was so impressive about Poteet is this somebody who only gave up 1 run in 6 innings. He did what Clark Schmidt was not able to do and go 6 innings. Probably could have gone 7 if they needed him to. But the thing about Poteet in this one that I loved is that he made quick work of this lineup. He wasn't dominant in a sense where he's, generating these strikeouts. He only had 4 today, which I would say is pretty good. But the thing about Poteet is that he was efficient. He pounded the zone. He forced fly balls. He forced soft liners. He forced ground balls. And he got outs. He generated outs. He only gave up 6 hits, 6 innings. And this guy comes away with a win and a well-deserved win. And he really made it easy for the Yankees, who had just pitched, and they didn't have to really empty their bullpen, but they used 4 pitchers, 3 bullpen pitchers in the previous game. So in game 2, expecting this to probably be a bullpen game, to see Poteet do what he did was really impressive. And it really kind of offers, before we even dive into the offense, which was very active today in the second game, it really adds value to the bullpen currently. Poteet is probably going to get sent down after this game. There's no need to keep him up right now because he just pitched. But I wouldn't be surprised if he has a legitimate role, at the very least in the postseason, but maybe even earlier. He has a legitimate role in this bullpen as kind of their long reliever. I think he can go 6 innings, and you could feel good about him, at the very least going 4 if need be. So Poteet did a really nice job today, and the Yankees and their fans should be very excited about him. With that said, then Dennis Santana comes in, and he gives you 2 innings. He only gives up 1 walk, and he strikes out a guy. So he continues to pitch pretty well. And then Marinaccio comes in and, he gives up a home run and probably, almost gave up another home run to start. He almost gave up home runs on back-to-back batters, back-to-back pitches, but he gets out of it. And what do you have to come away from this? You give up 2 runs. You only pitched 3 guys. So tomorrow on a day, in a day game where you don't have as much, time to really rest, you could have some of these guys. I'm not saying they will, but I would say one of these guys that pitched today in either the first game or the second game could be available tomorrow. And the bullpen is fresh enough where, okay, maybe you don't have your closer, but you have enough to get through the Guardians in game 3 of the, the final game of the series. But that is not what I'm so excited about. I mean, it is, but I'm also really excited about the offense. And you should be too, because McKenzie is a good pitcher. And I thought the Yankees weren't able to pound on him early on. And what I mean by that is, early on they did get, they forced, the bases loaded and they scored 2. That could have been a 7-run inning. So credit McKenzie for getting out of that. But then, Tristan McKenzie kind of shuts him down the second, the third, doesn't give up a run. Then the 4th inning is when they're able to pile on 4 runs. Soto's 3rd home run of the year in the 4th inning was so huge because he had 2 men on and there were 2 outs. And at that point, you just kind of take it for granted. It's a 3-run jack. That makes it, a 5-run game at that point, 6-run game. And so now, you're up 6-1, 6-0. So that's great. But if you don't get that, who knows? Who knows what happens? Do the Guardians, feed off that? I mean, that's the thing, is that momentum matters. And I was so impressed with their ability to get after McKenzie. Speaking of which, new leadoff hitter, thank God, Anthony Volpe, 2 for 4 today with a walk, an RBI, and he scored 2 runs. He's a run machine. He's going to go over 100 easily, like I've said. Juan Soto had a hit today. It was the biggest hit with the homer, forced 2 walks, 3 RBIs. He had 2 runs as well. Then you look at Aaron Judge. He got a hit in this one and a walk, continues to hit. Then you look at Rizzo. He went 2 for 5, so he had a 4-hit day in total in RBI. He did strike out twice. Stanton wasn't as great, but he did get an RBI, and he had a really nice walk in a crucial position. Torres, nice hit, 2 runs scored, a walk. Verdugo, another hit, opposite field, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. You just look at all these walks. 8 walks in the second game, and then you have 6 in the first game. And 4 strikeouts. The Yankees struck out 4 times in total for the second game and 6 in the previous game. So I love this approach. 4 for 15 with runners in scoring position. I understand will probably rub some people the wrong way, but that's if we're overanalyzing it. The reality is this, okay? The Yankees absolutely dominated today. Okay, I don't think the score of the previous game, the first game of the day, it doesn't indicate what really happened. The Yankees dominated the game. They dominated the day. I'm really impressed with what we saw. I think you guys should be too. I think really just like looking at the little things, the double plays are a little frustrating, grounding into double plays. Verdugo had another one today. Grisham had 2 with the bases loaded in the first game. And, we could talk all we want about, well, if this, and this happens, then, they could have lost. And, maybe that is true in the first game. The margin for error is slim. But the way I see it is the margin for error is slim, and even still, they're coming away with these wins. And I still don't feel like they're hitting at the level that they're going to be. Judge is still only batting .204. You have guys like that in the lineup right now. Rizzo's gotten his average up to 281. Torres is hitting 200. Verdugo's starting to come on. He's hitting 235 though. And Wells is hitting 115. Like, I think it's only a matter of time before really everyone is kind of ready for the season. And I think it started off a little slow because, Judge got hurt and then they, kind of slowed his, time down, in spring training, which was smart. But I think it also kind of held him back a little bit. So now I'm excited. DJ LeMahieu could be coming back soon, so it adds another bat to the lineup, another option for Aaron Boone. But this Yankees team, you talk about it right now, 12-3. I could sit here and say that I thought this was going to happen, but in reality, no, I did not. I thought that as long as they won about 17 games before Cole came back, maybe even up to 20, they'd be in really good shape. But that's June, folks. They have a chance to easily get to 20 games before June 1st, which was the projected date for Cole. They just need to win 8 more games to get to 20 wins. It's kind of crazy. And when you think about it, the biggest issue that you'll see with teams is that some are really oriented at home and some are like road warriors. And I think with this team, they can win at home. They can win on the road. They can win, in a big game where they have to come back and score a lot of runs. They can win the 3-2 games. I mean, Clay Holmes has been dominant. Got to give him a lot of credit. Closed the door again today. And they've been getting after good pitching. That's the thing. Gallen gave them, some problems, although, it wasn't the greatest pitching performance ever. But at the same time, Gallen gave him problems, and they faced a lot of great pitching against the Astros. And we talked about, how the Marlins and having Luzardo and you see Luzardo and McKenzie and these guys, and they're able to hit off them. And I think really this approach is translating, and I don't see this stopping. That's the beauty about this, folks. That's the beauty about this Yankees team is why would they stop? There's nothing out there to make you believe that in the first 15 games, they're going to hit this way and then they're going to completely change their approach and not hit as well again. No way. No chance. No way. So look, there is a chance that Oswaldo Cabrera starts to tail off. There is a chance that some of these hotter hitters, maybe Volpe isn't batting .353 at the end of the season. Very good chance that those guys will, calm down a little bit. But at the same time, there's also a very good chance that Aaron Judge won't be hitting .204 much longer. And that's the thing. So what I've seen is a team that has been ready and willing to step up, rise to the occasion, and win any means necessary. And yes, you can't win every single game. So 12-3 being the best record in the MLB, those 3 games, who cares? They're the best team in baseball right now. You could say the Dodgers are more talented. The Orioles are going to be there at the end of the season. I'm not saying you're wrong. But as it stands right now, statistically, and in my opinion, just the eye test, okay? If you just want to actually watch baseball, the Yankees are the best team in baseball. They currently are the best team. And they don't have Garrett Cole yet. They don't have DJ LeMahieu. They don't have Oswaldo Peraza. That's the thing, is that they still have injuries. They're not perfectly healthy. So I'm very excited. You should be very excited. Tomorrow's game is, once again against the Guardians. And look, I think the Yankees win tomorrow. Okay? I do. I feel good about the Yankees right now. Okay? I don't know if Heel is going to go tomorrow. If he does, if he doesn't, he'll probably go tomorrow. But if they do end up skipping him altogether, then I would imagine we would probably say Cortez. So right now, the projected matchup is Luis Heel versus Logan Allen. If we don't see Luis Heel, who was reportedly available in the bullpen, I believe, for the second game with Cody Poteet, if we don't see Heel, we'll see Cortez. Logan Allen, so far this year, he's been giving up the long ball. He's given up 2 home runs. He doesn't walk as many batters. He's only walked 4. He's 2-0 this year with a 4.60 ERA, a 1.34 whip, 15 and 2/3 innings, and he's given up 17 hits, and he struck out 13. So I like the Yankees tomorrow. I like them to sweep the series. Even if they don't, though, you have to feel good about winning another series. And right now, against the Guardians team that is currently 9-5 going into this, they were 9-3. They had a winning record at home until they saw the Yankees. You have to feel good. So those are my thoughts after the Guardians series, of course, because that does matter, in my opinion. Talking about the schedule, you have Toronto coming up on Monday. You're going to take your movement over from Cleveland. You're going to go to Toronto, stay on the road there. It's Cortez versus Bassett is the projected matchup if Heel, of course, pitches on Sunday. Then you have Rodon versus Kikuchi and Stroman versus Gausman. So it's almost exactly the same. It's the same three pitchers, I believe, that the Yankees are going to be facing. Then they finally get to play the Tampa Bay Rays, who have always given the Yankees fits in the past. That will be at the stadium on Friday. They have an off day on Thursday. And then following the Friday, Saturday, Sunday series against Tampa at the stadium, they will stay at the stadium for a 4-game set against one of the worst teams in baseball, the Oakland Athletics. So a lot of reason to feel good about the Yankees right now. And the another thing is they're battle tested. You can say what you will. I know it's early in the season, but you can't say they don't play anybody. They've gone up against the AL favorites to win it all in Houston, and you could say what you will about the record right now. Houston's very talented. That's not an easy team to beat. You beat them and you sweep them in a 4-game series to start off the season, which probably contributed to why they've started off so slow. Then you take on the reigning NL champion Arizona Diamondbacks on the road. By the way, that was in Houston. So on the road in Arizona, you win that series, okay? Then you beat Toronto in that series at the stadium. You beat Miami. Miami's bad, right? Okay. Well, now the Guardians are one of the best teams in baseball going into this at 9-3. They have one of the best records. The Yankees just took them to school in a doubleheader, and they have a chance to sweep them tomorrow. So feeling good about that. I would probably say tomorrow if they win, they're 13-3. I think they take 2 of the next 3 against Toronto. That would put them at 15-4 at that point. And then Tampa, I'll say they take 2 of the next 3 there. So that would put them at 17-5. And then I think I think they sweep Oakland. So I think right now you could be looking at 22-5 heading to Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is looking like a really good team. They trounced Baltimore today, but funny, you get the back-to-back series at Milwaukee, at Baltimore, and then you got Detroit and Houston and Tampa. So again, battle-tested, tough schedule coming ahead. I think the Yankees are ready for it, and so I'm excited to continue to watch this team. You should be very happy with what you've seen from this team. This is a very good baseball team, and I think a big thing that needs to be said here is Aaron Boone is doing a great job of managing it. There are some things I have issues with, but there's going to be things that everyone has issues with. End of the day, there's a reason why this team is as good as they are right now, and a big reason of that is the players and what, to be fair, Brian Cashman has done, putting these guys out there, going out and getting Soto and getting guys like Verdugo. But also, it's not just the players and Cashman. A lot of the credit deserves to go to Aaron Boone. So those are my thoughts. Be sure to follow the channel. Be sure to follow the channel page on all social media at Yankees Unloaded. Be sure to follow me on all social media at JK Bogan. Follow my co-host who will be here the next time you watch this, Gary Sheffield Jr. at Gary Sheffield Jr. And I will see you guys soon. Take care, folks. Later.